Okay. Hey, this is Matthew from Events Santa Cruz, and we are interviewing Liz Birnbaum. How you doing?
Great. How you doing?
We are at episode number 8. I'm pretty sure I should say that. So I've wanted to interview you for a while. You're from Curated Feast. What is Curated Feast?
So actually, you should know this, Matthew.
Right, I do. But for them, as an interviewer, I feel like I don't really understand stuff. No.
Well, what's funny is that I launched Curated Feast at Event Santa Cruz last June.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, because you pushed me to say, hey, we totally have a spot if you want to speak at the pop-up night. And I was like, yeah, let me think about what I would say. And I already had the Curated Feast project brewing.
I remember that.
Yeah. And so I, like the week before I spoke, like slapped up a website and like tried to make myself official, made business cards.
Isn't that awesome though, that you can actually like just like, I feel like in this day and age, like you can make a business by just saying like, okay guys, it's there it is.
There it is. I have a website.
Yeah, it's a website. It's a business. Yeah. And then it is. So okay. Besides throwing a website on and like making a business card, and you're now a Curated Feast. What does the Curated Feast do?
Yeah. So I've done a lot of stuff actually since I first launched, which I would say the main thing that I'm kind of becoming interested in doing are these full-on dinners where I do research about the history of a food or a time or a place or multiple places. Like the last one was on the Silk Road. And I traveled with the menu through 6 cities, starting in ancient China and then heading westward to Constantinople. And that was the 6th course.
Did you do the one before that? It was like 14, like it was a year.
That's the next one, actually.
Oh, that's the next one.
The next dinner will be 1493.
Okay.
So looking at like post-Columbus, Old World, New World.
So when somebody goes to the Curated Feast, it's a long table, people have a meal, and you're discussing what they're eating and how it relates to whatever the topic is? Yeah,
so I think the best way to describe Curated Feast is through an example.
Okay.
So for the first day...
Sorry, we're actually, we're next to, like, we're at Patagonia right now, and we're right next to a street, so excuse the traffic, but yes.
Wait it out. There's a butterfly.
Okay, the light went through.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Okay, so for an example.
Example, well, so at the dinner, as each course is being presented, I will step up and tell the group a story.
Okay.
And the story relates to that dish. And there's always multiple threads in each dish that you can trace.
Okay.
So one of my favorite examples is actually the first dinner I did with Lionfish Supper Club, and it was a taste of ancient Greece. So one dish was a barley berry salad with feta and 5 herbs. Barley berries represented ancient Greek trade routes because barley was actually more of the homegrown staple, whereas wheat was more likely to be imported. And that relates to the landmass and geography and a bunch of other factors.
You didn't know you were going to learn something today, did you?
And then 5 herbs, kind of those fresh 5 herbs represented what was local in the Mediterranean versus sort of spices and all the importing. I mean, ancient Greece was importing black pepper, spices from ancient India and the Spice Islands. And then feta is kind of my favorite part of the dish because that represents the Cyclops. Because actually, if you go back into the Odyssey, you'll see Odysseus and his men come across the Cyclops cheese cave.
Oh, wow.
So he's a cheesemaker. And then the Cyclops comes back with his flocks. And then, they gouge his eye out and it's all terrible. But
which is not going to happen at the Curated Feast.
None of that really happens.
Yeah. And you guys even like dress up?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm actually kind of playing with what that looks like more. It's a budget question.
It has like just a look and feel, like even like the table. It has a feel of the event. It's not just here's a plate. No, you have little knickknacks and stuff. No, I feel like it's not just a meal, but it's definitely an experience.
Yeah. The idea is to learn in a multi-sensory way.
Yeah.
Right? So coming through with the history and even some botany sometimes, just the different layers that are embedded in any dish that you ever eat, but to have somebody explain them to you as you're sitting there and then eating them, you're learning on so many levels.
Now, trucks passing by, FedEx truck.
FedEx truck.
But what is it? It's not just you talking, but you have other people come and talk, don't you?
Not very much yet. It's another thing I've been imagining having happen. But so far it's just been me.
Oh, just me. Okay, okay. And you have different chefs, different people that
collaborate
partake.
With different chefs. the next event, I'm collaborating with an amazing woman. I really love to work with people who understand that food is really a layered endeavor. Yes.
So, what do you feel like? So, of course, we're in Santa Cruz, event Santa Cruz. How do you feel like our community supports a food community? Like, do you feel like they are seen? Do you feel like there's actually a food scene here that's being supported?
I think so. Actually, it's funny. I can't go out anywhere in this town anymore without running into someone I know.
That's true. Yeah.
And I've been here 3.5 years, so that seems long enough. But it also is pretty quick for that to be happening.
It's a small, big town.
It's a small, big town. Exactly. But a lot of the people I run into and know are really from the food scene. I also, my day job is in organic agriculture.
Okay.
So it's through that
and that's like all the iterations of Liz have been in the food industry somewhat, haven't they?
For a while, yeah.
Like, what's your background?
So undergrad, I'm from Chicago, and I went to a small liberal arts school out there, and I studied art history and psychology, which was really awesome. It was these different ways of thinking. Then I got recruited to work back in the environmental studies program, and with that, we were looking for a way to get the campus community together to talk about critical issues of sustainability. And my proposal was that we would start a farm, because with food, it's the baseline for getting everybody together.
Yeah.
And actually, I would say that really was my first entree into realizing how much food was this endlessly interesting topic. And also, learning farming was incredibly hard. And you can't just go to Google. You can't just say, okay, how do you do this? I mean, you can learn a lot by doing that, but really it's all about meeting people and asking questions and doing these kinds of interviews. So I did informational interviews with farmers across the country, traveled and did kind of an ethnography project because of that, and it just came from there. It was amazing. Food has really kept my attention.
So you feel, we don't always know what our trajectory is in life, but do you feel it will always be something around the food industry?
At this point, I can't see anything else that I get as excited about. Every time I'm researching a topic for a curated feast, and I should say they're also, like, sometimes I do lectures, and other times, I did an installation at the museum here. There's all different ways that I think curated feast can just be realized. I'm wondering if that's too much noise.
Yeah, but it's good. Yeah, continue. We're good now.
Cool. There's so many different iterations of what a curated feast can be in my mind. So I don't know that the dinner parties will always be, the feasts themselves will always be actually what it is. But I love just the open prompt of considering food and history and community.
Which I can't think of anybody that's better at putting those two things together.
Thank you.
So, okay, I'm going to ask you one more question.
Great.
You're hungry. It's dinner time. You don't want to cook for yourself. What are some of the places that you go, or your favorite places in town to eat? And I know you were not ready for this one.
I'm totally not ready.
Yeah.
Product placement.
Maybe there's product placement.
Co-branding opportunity for somebody.
Hopefully there'll be a sponsor. Of course, we like to showcase people. So, but I'm just interested to see what do you like to eat? I mean, I think because it's a pretty cool place to eat. I know for me, I love when Noah had his pop-up in a dinner, or Kickin' Chicken, or I was telling Brandon that last night I had all-nighter cookies come out at 10 o'clock or 10:30 at night and drop cookies. So my wife wanted some cookies. I thought I was surprised her. Yeah.
That's really sweet.
What do you like? What are some foods you like in town?
Last night, honest to goodness, I had a corn dog. This is horrible. At the brewery, St. Cruz Mountain Brewery.
Okay, that's fine.
Which was, late night
they have organic
choices.
Organic beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do have organic beer. But yeah, I would say overall, I really seek out the pop-ups that are happening. I eat out a lot because actually the kitchen where I've been living, the kitchen has been under renovation, construction, and so I eat out quite a bit. I've been definitely really enjoying Bantam and La Posta and Soif. And definitely, other than that, seeking out pop-ups is sort of my main thing, because I've become friends with so many of the folks who are just these young entrepreneurs doing these amazing food things.
It makes the experience so different when you actually know them, isn't it?
Walking up and high fives, and it's just beautiful.
And you can see them, you can look in the kitchen, you see they're making it and stuff.
Totally.
And I think that's where you have a different, compared to the overall population, is because you do know them. Yeah. And so that does heighten the experience. And it's really cool. It's cool that we have all these pop-up food
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think we're so lucky.
Great. Well, I'm super excited that you had an interview with you.
That's it.
Yes.
Too short.
It is short.
Too short.
Or too long, whatever. But I wish I had
Oh.
another 45 minutes, which we've done that before.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Well, thank you so much. So this is Liz from the Curated Feast. What's that website? How do we find out about you?
thecuratedfeast.com or .org.
Okay.
Because I'm squatting on both of them.
Okay. And on Facebook, do you have like a Facebook?
Yeah, it's the Curated Feast on Facebook as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay, that's it. Look forward to you coming back for next week. We'll see who we interview next.